Talks. We're very fortunate today to have a very esteemed and very high level, very successful professional with us. Just gonna bring up my screen and we can begin. So, Sanato Tijarat, obviously, the purpose is to increase people's income, promote their businesses, or increase the entrepreneurs, the traders, help them start, help them scale up, help people with their careers, offer training and skills. And as part of our national program, this is uh, this is a series of talks that we're presenting, given by expert speakers, subject matter experts. And today we're very fortunate that we're going to be talking about LinkedIn and job searches. This is the second in our series on employment. So it's going to be done by, obviously, we've got entrepreneurship next week, so tune in for that one. But today's talk is by Rehan Syed. I've been an IT professional for about 35 years. Rehan kindly reviewed my CV about 3 months ago, and even though I look at other people's CVs and I do recruit, it felt like I was a beginner when he went through it line by line. So I found it particularly helpful, and I'll be taking notes tonight. And again, just get your pens ready, get your questions ready. It is meant to be interactive, so do make a note in the chat about what questions and comments you have, and we'll try and answer them all at the end. So over to you, Rehan. Uh, Try and take over the screen if you can.
Yeah, Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah. Let me just get myself set up. It's saying you cannot. Have you stopped sharing?
I have, yes. You're on mute.
Yeah, that's fine. Let me just see if I can share my PowerPoint. Um,
We can see that. Thank you, Rehan. But it's not on full screen. There we go. Thank you.
is that better?
It's a lot better. Thank you.
Right, great stuff. Give me just 2 seconds. Sorry, give me a sec. Can you still see the PowerPoint?
Yes, we can. And now it's on full screen.
Okay, great stuff. Okay, starting from the left. So today, inshallah, we'll be going from invisible to in demand, and the whole point of today's exercise training will be on LinkedIn optimization and job searching. So as before, the disclaimer is here that none of the views I'm expressing in the presentation are going to be reflective of any organization. So the views are solely of my own. And they don't represent the opinions of any other organization. And by following my advice today, it doesn't guarantee you an interview or job, but inshallah, I hope that by following it, it will maximize your chances of success. So just a quick roundup in terms of the UK market. We saw that vacancies had fallen 717,000, and that was a 39th consecutive decline since 2022. And then unemployment has actually risen as well. We're seeing recruitment agencies report there's slower permanent hiring at the moment and pay stagnation. And just all round, it's a bit of a tougher market um, in terms of job seeking and finding roles. So, however, look, none of this all means that you're gonna not get a job. Inshallah, you will, but you just need to be a bit more smarter and more clued up in the way you tackle your job hunt. Um, so why this series now? At the moment, because of the just the vast range of applications happening. We're seeing CV scans. We covered this in the masterclass, CV masterclass last month, where recruiters and employers are literally scanning CVs. So you've got literally 7 seconds to command attention. On average, there's between 9,000 and 11,000 applications on LinkedIn every minute. So there's huge amounts of competition, and 47% of there's a 47% interview failure rate at the moment as well. And it's mainly because people are not preparing before they go in for interview. So we want to change that, inshallah. So we've got the Get Hired series. It's 3 recruiter-led masterclasses to help you launch your job search and stand out and inshallah win offers. And here we are in the 3 trainings. We've done, as I said, the CV masterclass last month. Today, inshallah, we'll cover LinkedIn optimization and job searching. And next month, we will cover interview masterclass and salary negotiation as well. So this is me. I'm Rehan Syed, and I've worked in the recruitment and talent acquisition space for over 10, 15 years, to be honest. I've hired across 18 different countries and hired for big tech as well as small to medium organizations as well. Now, I just want to, before we get stuck into the training, again, I want to highlight that it's important to have your own effort as well. But in addition to that, there are prerequisites to success. And I believe in order to maximize your success, there are a number of steps that you should be taking. The first, of course, is to pray to Allah for success in your daily prayers. Second, obviously, nawafil prayer, istikhara prayer, asking Allah to guide you from al-ghaib. You don't know what job is good for you or not. Allah knows everything. So leaning in there with those powerful tools, prayers to help assist and guide you or move away certain roles that are toxic and won't do you any good. The third is to recite the prayer of Moses often, and oh my Lord, open up for me my chest, increase for me my ease for me my task, loosen the knot for my tongue, that they may understand my speech. So I've got it's from Surah Taha, chapter 20, verses 26 to 29. The Prophet Moses wasn't great at communication skills, and we see in the Quran that he asks Allah for his brother to help him. And however, before going to Pharaoh, he did recite this prayer, and that helped him deliver the message. And additionally, many people that actually recite this prayer itself do extremely, extremely well during the interview process as well. Obviously, write letter to Hazur Anwar requesting prayers, give sadaqah, and engage yourself in Jamaat activities. And then I would also say to you that it can be a tough road sometimes trying to find a new role, a new job. And it can be particularly challenging if you're not currently employed. And it can be very demoralizing. And that's why in the Quran, we have wasta'inu bis-sabri was-salat, that seek help with patience and prayer. So sometimes we just have to be a bit patient, steadfast, and resilient as well at the same time. So in this training, we're going to be covering 3 areas. The first is why LinkedIn is a non-negotiable for you right now as a job seeker. Second is to profile optimization, how to turn your actual profile into an inbound recruiter magnet. And this does happen if you follow the steps, inshallah. And then 3 is to job search and use LinkedIn networking, and there's a whole strategy around that too. So why LinkedIn matters so much right now. you're not actually competing with just a few people or 10 people. You're actually competing against thousands every minute. So we really need to get our game on in terms of making sure that we're using all the smart tricks at our disposal. Key data points at the moment, there are 10,000, approximately 10,000 applications every minute. There's 65 million weekly job searches on LinkedIn itself. And there's about 6 to 7 hires per minute on via LinkedIn. Um, Recruiter usage, I think there's 1 billion or so users at the moment of LinkedIn. But you'll find about 95% of recruiters actually using it. So you might as well be on it so you can get identified and shortlisted for interview quickly. Callback rates, if you use a LinkedIn profile link on your CV, it can increase your callback rate by 71%, according to Resume Go. However, one caveat I have to mention is that if your LinkedIn profile is not optimized, and you lead a potential recruiter or hiring manager to your LinkedIn profile without that optimization, then it will actually damage your chances of being shortlisted or called in. And then 70% connection advantage as well. So LinkedIn survey referenced the stats found that 70% of workers landed a job where they had a connection at the company. So constantly connecting with people within the organization, your target organization is really important as well. Okay, so LinkedIn is not just another job board. It's a public, I'd say it's a public CV or public profile. It's your portfolio, and it's going to help you network, okay? And it's where recruiters are literally trying to find talent every single day, and it's where most roles are filled. So there's two modern realities at the moment. The first being that AI has actually increased application volume. LinkedIn data actually reports that there's about 11,000 applications a minute at the moment. And AI generated CVs are flooding, absolutely flooding job postings. So there's a lot of overwhelm for employers trying to filter out the right candidates. And LinkedIn, the second thing to take away is LinkedIn has also started verifying recruiters, executives, and companies as well, because there's a lot of scams happening as well. You could get a reach out from a fraudster, a scammer. So you have to be very careful as to who you're responding to and who you're sharing your data with. So in terms of profile optimization, your profile isn't just a digital CV, it's actually a landing page. And that's what I want you to think about when you actually consider your LinkedIn profile. It has to be searchable, skimmable, and it needs to be credible. And I will talk you through those aspects. So in terms of the profile foundations, you must have a great profile photo. Ideally, you're facing forward, straight into the camera, maybe a smile or something like that. Um, Professionally dressed, keep the headshot clean. I've seen really strange LinkedIn profiles where someone is standing with someone else, or you've got sunglasses on, or you're someone's had a cool kind of image or profile. Let's just keep it professional. Remember, job companies are actually looking at you and shortlisting in that way. The other thing is having a banner at the top of your LinkedIn profile can be quite nice just for you to stand out a little bit more. Um, okay, so you should also have your name and headline. So here's a quick formula. Obviously, your headline is prime SEO, which what I mean by that is it's search engine optimized. So whatever you're going to be actually putting into your profile, it needs to use keywords that will help to attract uh, the right people to your profile. Okay, so as I say, it's going to appear in search results, and everyone is viewing it. So the formula I'd say is use your target role, your niche domain, and a proof or an outcome. Okay. So keywords here again are really, really important. So something like senior GTM recruiter, software as a service and cloud, 10 years hiring across EMEA. Account executive, B2B software as a service, 1.2 million plus new ARR, closed in 2024. Data analyst, SQL, Power BI, turning messy data into clear decisions. So again, optimize keywords. You must have your job title first, then keywords, and then a value proposition would be kind of cool to have on in your headline. Um, I would avoid putting things out there like actively seeking opportunities as a keyword. You don't need to put that. There are other ways of attracting recruiters to your profile, and open to work is a great way to do it. Your about section is basically your story, and it needs to be searchable as well. And there's just a three simple part structure here. So who you are, your current role or your target role and the years of experience, what you actually do, so the domains, tools, and types of projects, and the of direction, proof and direction, 2 to 3 key results and value you were able to bring. So I've got an example there. I don't need to read it all out, but um, something along those lines. Like I'm a B2B software as a service account executive, 6 years experience managing mid-market enterprise customers across the UK and EMEA, and then putting some other data points in there as well. Remember, try and also insert keywords from your target job descriptions naturally into your title and your about section too. So under your experience section, this is also searchable. So make sure you're going to have a list of your job titles and other strategic keywords. So use titles that map to the market. If you have an internal job title, for example, um, use something that everyone understands. So, for example, if you're working in a school, you might be known as an ICT technician. I'm not going to search for an ICT technician if I'm looking for a support, IT support administrator or a support engineer or something like that. Then just translate that into a job title that everyone uses and it's easily searchable and found. You can use the problem action impact or the XYZ formula that I mentioned last week to help to discuss the value you bring. So, for example, reduce churn from 12% to 5% by creating a structured QBR process across 30 key accounts, or cut average resolution time from 48 hours to 12 hours by redesigning triage workflow and mentoring junior agents. Have at least one number in the bullet points to show the impact you have. So also you've got the skills and endorsement section and featured section as well. After this PowerPoint, I'm going to also share my screen as well in terms of my own profile and just talk you through those different aspects as well. So just stay with me here for now, just to give you the lowdown on the basics. So under the skills, have about 30 skills that match your target roles. And you can actually pin the top 3 skills right at the top. And I'll show you that in a bit later. Have a featured section as well on your LinkedIn profile. And you can put your portfolio, case studies, GitHub, etc., slide decks, or anything else you're particularly proud about. And what you should understand that recruiters, obviously, we're using LinkedIn to screen and validate um, job seekers that are applying for roles. And anything on your profile will be strong evidence as well, that will help to actually attract that callback to your application. And then, of course, you've got open to work, location, and contact details as well. So if you are looking, I know there's a green badge. It's up to you whether you want to put the green badge or activate the green badge or not. Um, I do know sometimes it can open you up to scammers and spammers sending you messages because now they know you're looking for a job and they might start sending you a scam message. However, there is a way inside LinkedIn, in the same place you're going to open and activate yourself as open to work, you can actually just say discreetly activate my open to work, so only recruiters are aware of this. Put your location as well, because don't forget when recruiters are trying to find you, we're going to search the actual location where we want this person to be hired into. So if we're searching for London or we're searching for Madrid or Warsaw or some other location, we're going to be typing that keyword into the filters to make sure we only find profiles that are in those locations or want to work in those locations. So again, make sure you are highlighting that too. Contact details, you don't necessarily actually have to put contact details. They can direct message you. Again, be careful the contact details that you're sharing on LinkedIn. It is open to the public. Anyone can actually see your profile. So make sure you could create a special email address just for job applications and share that on LinkedIn, but don't put your mobile number or anything sensitive like that. Okay, so LinkedIn and job search strategy. So what I was showing you before is to highlight and optimize your actual LinkedIn profile. So anyone searching like a recruiter can actually find you very quickly based on your job title, your location, your key skills, etc. And now what another strategy is also to be searching yourself on LinkedIn to try and find the right roles. So in the experience section, again, have change it from not just duties, but to outcomes, show the value you are able to bring. Instead, don't just copy and paste the responsibilities. So again, I mentioned this before regards to the problem action impact or the XYZ formula. We've covered this before. And then also we've got the skills and endorsements and featured section. Again, make sure that you're highlighting this as well. Give me a second. I think we're doubling up on some of the slides. Okay, cool. Okay, so this is the way to make your profile, turning it into sort of inbound, make recruiters and hiring managers come to you. And then again, recruiters are using, as I mentioned, the LinkedIn as a database. So put your target role and core skills in the headline, like I mentioned before. And then in the about section, the job titles. Again, I will show you on a live profile soon. Avoid internal acronyms and non-standard titles. I mentioned that to you before as well, and add relevant locations, which is all key. Now, content and visibility. You don't need to become an influencer. You just need to be really visible because those people that are sharing content and posting on LinkedIn become more visible to their target audience. So I would recommend 1 or 2 posts a week. One post could be a short story or lesson from your work that you have realized or something that is interesting for someone in your line of work. And another thing could be like a small case study or an insight into your industry as well. Um, I would also recommend that you comment on 3 to 5 posts from relevant leaders and companies per day. Um, that would also be pretty useful. Okay, this does three key things. This keeps your name regularly in the actual LinkedIn feed, so people can see that you're visible. It shows you're engaged and thoughtful, and it can actually trigger profile views from hiring managers and recruiters. So you start getting inbound traffic as well. What I've also found actually is that the more you actually are active on LinkedIn, the more you actually LinkedIn actually starts pushing your content out, and also you become more searchable in recruiter searches as well. Okay, so here is the strategy for outbound. So you want to have a targeted outreach instead of a spray and pray kind of approach. Your goal isn't to actually apply for 200 jobs, because actually, when you start applying to 200 jobs and then you get rejected from all of them, it's going to be like counterproductive, and it's just going to hit your confidence levels as well. Your goal is to get enough relevant conversations. That's the main thing. And to go for the right roles for you rather than having spraying too many applications. So build a target list. I would say have about 30 to 50 companies that you want to target. Be very intentional about it. Have 2 to 3 roles per company that you would realistically fit into. And then 1 to 2 people like recruiter, hiring manager, or potential peer that you would connect with. Use filters such as location, industry, company headcount, job title filters, and you can also use Boolean search strings as well. So, for example, you can use your actual job title, so maybe talent acquisition partner, and then use the Boolean search operator AND in capitals, and then put SaaS, software as a service, or London, or you can have like head of sales, EMEA, cloud, etc., and use that as keyword searches. Your outreach, again, once you're finding certain, let's say, targets, so peers or hiring managers or recruiters, then you want to also send them messages to help begin those conversations and ask them for opportunities within the company that they are in at the moment. So the structure to your actual direct messages should have a personal hook, how you found them, a shared interest, an online value, sort of a value proposition, and one line about why that particular company, why you're interested in the company. So one actual lesson I learned um, as well is that when you're applying and you're sending messages to potential hiring managers or recruiters or peers, and you, let's say, for example, you want to get into Google, there's no way you're going to get into Google without a referral. Okay. If you make an application, they've probably got thousands of applications coming in, even at Amazon as well. So best way to actually is to find someone that can refer you in. If you can find an Ahmadi person, great. They can help you to get that referral. If you can't find that person, then you can try and find them on LinkedIn. And as I say, reach out to them using a direct message. And one way you can actually use this to your advantage is that if you are sending lots of applications, like lots of direct messages, not getting anywhere, what you want to do is try and find where you actually have some kind of relationship with that person you're reaching out to. So, for example, if I'm currently at Amazon and I want to now go to, for example, Google or some other organization, so you can actually go on LinkedIn and filter against a specific job title. I want to find a recruitment role. I want to find people specifically who used to work at Amazon but are now at Google. Then I can do a search for that. And then that brings me a certain number of people, hiring managers or recruiters or peers in my same line of work that I can actually connect with. And when I send them a direct message, and they can connect with me easier because I can use that as a kind of, let's say, a pivoting point that, hey, we both actually worked at Amazon. I see that you're now at Google. Uh, I'd love to learn more about how you actually made that transition or how you're finding Google and begin that conversation from there. So here's one example. Hi Sarah, I saw you're leading a GTM hiring for EMEA at the moment for X company. I'm an account executive with 6 years experience. And again, it's a very short direct message, and you might want to change things around. Sometimes actually something that's too heavy with data for recruiters, it's good because it shows that you're right on target. But if you're going to send a message to a peer, you might want to be a bit more conversational with your direct message reach out. And then don't forget to follow up because lots of people are sending direct messages to recruiters and hiring managers. So it's those individuals that actually follow up that increase their chances of success. So here's a couple of stats for you. One LinkedIn survey reported that 70% of workers landed their job through a connection at the company. And another recent survey found that 54% of workers say they got their job through a person that was known to them or professional connection. So these are strong, strong statistics to show that actually connecting or using your own connections to help you get referrals into an organization so they can advocate for you is a very, very powerful way to get in and get a job. If you ignore networking on LinkedIn, you're competing for the visible slice of the jobs, but most offers come through people, not just through applications. So again, make sure that you're connecting and you're using um, your connections to advocate for you as referrals into organizations. So a couple of touch points. You can comment on 5 messages, people that you already know, or your target market, or your target organization or hiring manager. So if they've posted something, you can comment on that. Send out 5 new connection requests in your target industry. Do it regularly, and then ask for referrals at least twice a week. So these could be 3 kind of targets you can try and achieve on a weekly basis to try and start snowball your job search on LinkedIn itself. And finally, I'd like you to be aware that there are lots of scams on LinkedIn as well. So only ensure that you're reaching out to individuals that are, verified by LinkedIn itself. And I'll show you what that looks like in a second. So let me just stop my screen share. And okay, so Salim, I just want to know, have I lost everyone or everyone is okay with that? Do you understand what I just said?
Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for that, Rehan. That was amazing. I've got loads of notes here. Uh, yeah, very good. Okay, so I'm just going to summarize before we move to questions, if that's okay. I'm going to just
Yeah,
read
so
very
I'd like you
quickly.
to summarize, and then what I just want to do very quickly is just run through a live LinkedIn profiles because that was just a bit, sometimes PowerPoints can be a bit boring and people want a bit more of a visual. So I'll let you summarize and then we'll jump into a quick.
Yeah, okay. All right, take a breath, have a sip, because That was a lot of that was a information synopsis overload, lots of cognitive information. Right. So number one, create a profile. I was at an IT show earlier this year, and I bumped into somebody, and he said, "Are you on LinkedIn?" I said, "No." And he said, so his background was that he came out of prison, and he went into prison because he hacked. He hacked a system, and they sent him to prison. And he came out and he said that I've got £300,000 of business a year just as a result of my LinkedIn profile. And at that point, I created a LinkedIn profile. So before that, I didn't think much of it. So yeah, basically create a profile. It sounds like you need to spend a bit more time on it than I did. Apply for roles once you've done that. Create posts weekly. Start DMing people. Comment on other people's posts, ask for referrals, and ask for connection. So there's like 8 steps, 7, 8 steps, not just like me, where you just create a brochure for yourself and hope for the best. So that's more work for me, and I'm going to have to get to know LinkedIn now. So I realize now, thank you, that how important it was.
All right,
So
cool.
gone.
So I'm going to go onto my live profile. In fact, should I use mine or should I use someone else's? Um, oh, I'll use mine. Give me a second. Let me just share it.
Meanwhile, everybody, if you've got questions, please bung them in the chat. Got a few already.
Okay, so let me just try and share my screen again. Okay, let me know if you can see it.
Can do.
Okay, so headshot needs to be, this is my work headshot that they took for my badge photo at Amazon. I just used that, copied, pasted it in because it was just simple to do. There's a lot of people that are talking about using AI to using an AI photo. I think it's okay. But I would try and use just a natural picture. I think that would work best. In terms of this is a banner. I want to let people know I'm hiring. I'm looking for certain types of people. So when they're browsing on LinkedIn, they can see that I'm actually hiring and they will connect with me or drop me a DM, a direct message. Um, Up here, you can see my profile URL. Usually, when you go to your profile URL, it's a bit, it's not, doesn't really look too professional because it's got numbers or dashes or whatever. But what you can do very quickly is just put your full name and your surname in there, and then that you're the only person that will have that particular URL. So that may be something that you might want to change on your LinkedIn profile as well. Okay, my headline. My headline is in, I've done it in this way because I recruit for certain types of individuals. So I want people to know I'm a talent acquisition professional, I'm a recruiter, and I look for people within artificial intelligence, machine learning, GTM, solutions architecture, and cloud sales. So these are specific keywords I want to be known for. And then I get found by individuals who are searching against those keywords or recruiter in that space, and they may just reach out to me for about job opportunities. Um, this is your open to work area. You don't need to have a green badge. As you can see, I put open to work. I'm always interested in knowing what else is out there. So I've put different types of roles I might be interested in. You can do the same, and you can also ensure that you also add that whether you're open to remote or hybrid or on-site. So you can do things like that. Um, this is just some analytics. You will find how many people looked at your profile, how many post impressions you had, how many times you turned up on search results. This is my about section. I haven't actually tweaked it or taken any of my own advice. However, I have got certain keywords in there. I've just literally copied and pasted a load of stuff, and I haven't actually updated this in a long time. So it just talks about, again, keywords that I want to be found for, the fact I've operated across private and public organizations, the different countries I've hired across, and just some other statistics as well. Again, with this featured section, what you can do is also have certain recommendations on your featured section, or you could have your GitHub or your portfolio or a web page that you want individuals to actually zero into. So almost, as I say, a landing page. I want people to know that I'm trustworthy, they can connect with me, and I'm a verified recruiter. So this thing here, this icon here will turn up if that person, if that recruitment person or the hiring manager or the company is verified. You'll have that kind of shield or badge of verification there by LinkedIn. Having again recommendations on your featured can actually help recruiters and employers actually think, hey, this person has a bit of credibility. Don't forget, when you're sleeping or your holiday or wherever you are, this is working as a 24/7 reference for you. So if I'm having past people I brought into Amazon, past hiring managers and partnerships hiring managers I've worked with on there, and they're just giving a bit of information about how they found working with me, which is great. You can also, again, your past posts can also appear here as well. So people can see what you're talking about. I think I recently I posted about creating AI generated resumes and how that can actually damage you as well if you don't do it in the right way. Um, and again, coming back to now your professional experience, again, keyword heavy, because I want to use the same words to be found by other recruiters if they're looking for job opportunities and they want to hire me potentially, or again, other candidates that want to apply for roles I help to fill. And then you've got the your education, and then you've got your professional certifications and licenses. And again, this is a technical skill section. I would 100% ask that you get people to endorse these experiences. They can actually come in and physically endorse um, your experiences here. Again, it shows that for this technical recruiting or talent acquisition, I've done that at Amazon Web Services. I've got 68 endorsements here, including someone who's highly skilled at that same skill set. And then I've got, again, in my skills section, a number of other skills as well. But again, I've pinned the top three here. And those are the top three key skills I want to be known for. And then after that, I've got a recommendation section, and people can just expand that a bit more, and you can organize this. I've accrued a lot of recommendations over the years, and I would 100% recommend others to ask for recommendations. And I actually find that the more recommendations you have, the more LinkedIn actually think of you as, let's say, a credible profile to push more people to, and then you become optimized in your searches as well.
Han, you mentioned I mean that's a lot of work. How long do you think people if I'm serious, if I'm out of work, I'm looking for work, how long should I be spending on LinkedIn every week? 10
It's
minutes?
it,
5
it's
minutes?
it's a good question. No, I'd be spending at least two. If you're unemployed right now and you don't have a job right now, I would be spending 3 to 4 hours on LinkedIn. I'm not joking. Um, I would, and that would be searching, connecting with people, improving your own profile. And then once you've actually improved your profile, you may not need to spend as much time on LinkedIn itself. Um, but again, I would spend minimum 1 hour,
I think
minimum
I've
one
got
hour a day.
minimum 1 hour a day, and
Yeah,
that would equate to 20, 30, 40, 50, 100, 200 grand job, right? So it's worth it. You mentioned
absolutely.
putting. I think I put down three skills, and you said you need to have 30 to 50. And I saw
I've
you.
got, yeah, I'd say about 30. Stick to 30. But again, your most important skills are the ones that are the most important. Okay. Those are your top kind of skills. Are we running out of time?
No, we're not. We're good. So, and then you've got verified. So, do you go to somebody and say, "Oh, excuse me, mate, I know you. Can you verify this skill for me?" Is that how you go about verifying?
No, for verification, actually, it will come through the company that you're employed through. So as long as you have a valid email address for at Amazon, for example, um, then you will get verified
Automatically. You don't need to do anything.
automatically.
Okay.
There was just something that you have to do, but it's very easy because you have that email address, and you will have that verification.
And and you talked about, I'm just going to start whizzing through now because we've got a few questions. You talked
Sure.
about spotlighting. That's where your brochure's there. You don't do anything, but people are just calling you and saying, "Can you come and work for me?" Is that what you
Sure.
called it? What could you just walk me through that again?
Yeah, sure. With spot, so there's five spotlights that job seekers never see. However, only recruiters can see it within our own dashboard. So the first spotlight is open to work. So if I'm searching for a certain person, let's say a salesperson in X location in London, LinkedIn will say, hey, do you want to use this spotlight? Because there are 20 people or 10 people who have those skills, but also are open to work right now. And why is that important? Because it means that you have clear intent. The recruiter knows that actually I'm not going to be wasting my time. This person is open to work. There's clear intent. We can have a fast conversation, and there's less guesswork. Okay, so activating open to work is really, really important. And
Okay.
the second spotlight that you can actually have on LinkedIn is active talent. And who actually appears in this? And these are candidates who recently updated their profile or shared something on LinkedIn, or even an individual that is at a company that is undergoing layoffs. So that will be spotlighted to recruiters as this is an active talent. Click this button and these profiles will turn up. So you want to be in that spotlight if that applies. So if you're updating your profile, you'll turn up in that spotlight. And again, this again indicates you are ready to move. And second thing is there's a higher chance you will respond to a message from a recruiter. So don't forget, at the moment, there's a lot of people applying using their CVs for jobs. You could apply to hundreds of different jobs and not get a response back. However, using LinkedIn as an inbound system, instead of now you applying, you're getting recruiters applying to you. They're now searching you down. They're sending you direct messages saying, "Hey, we have a job. This is a role. Would you be interested?" And they will fast track you into the interview process in that way. So having that spotlight is really, really important as well.
Okay, nice. And so that's two spotlights.
That's
We're
two
really running out
spotlights.
short. So can you just be bullet answers, please? What's spotlight number three?
Okay, so the next one we've got is rediscovered candidates. And these are candidates who've applied before to a company,
Okay.
who were saved by recruiters or who were previously messaged by the company. So that's
Okay.
a rediscovered spotlight. So you could be in that spotlight if you are, again, um,
Got
saving
it.
or
Okay.
applying or had that outreach.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna just give you some my personal experience. I used to apply for, if I was looking for work or new business, aka, work or new business. If I was applying previously, say 40, 50 jobs a day, I've recently gone down to about 30 a week, but each one is finely tuned to what they're up to their requirements. And I'm averaging about 2 interviews a day, or for contracts, business contracts, or contract working. Um, Now, if somebody's just arrived from Pakistan, they either got experience or not experience. What would you say to them about LinkedIn?
I would say
Someone who's just
100% use
freshly
it.
arrived, who's not got IT skills.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is that you need to do something that you are able to do, right? If you're going to apply for a job that you're not able to do, you're not going to get any response to it. There's plenty of people from Pakistan who have worked in really good jobs that can just simply translate their roles onto a LinkedIn profile and then apply that way as well.
It links
And
very
then
closely with.
if you're
Go on.
talking about individuals with limited experience, then again, I'd be looking at least getting work experience, getting my CV together, creating a LinkedIn profile. But again, this is more, you'll have to snowball yourself
Yeah.
into that hiring process, right? Because at the moment, you're going to have to upskill, you'll have to gain more UK experience and more skills, more training. These are the things we discussed a lot about that in our last session.
And what would you say? Jazib's asking, and it's similar, how would one navigate being seen as underqualified for entry level roles in their chosen field, as many employers require 2 years of experience?
Sorry, could you repeat that?
Yeah, how basically he's saying he's looking for uh, entry level roles, but employers require 2 years experience.
Yeah, it's a difficult one, right? What I would say is I don't know where you are in your education. So, for example, I came across a person recently who joined Amazon, right? An Ahmadi, and he contacted me, and we had a conversation. I said, "How did you get in? What happened?" And he said, "Look, I did my A levels." And then instead of going to university directly, I applied for an apprenticeship. And he said that using this method, now I've got a job at Amazon and Amazon are paying for my degree. So it's almost like a win-win situation where not only are you getting qualified, but you're also getting paid for it. And then you don't have the burden of debt either of having a student loan. So this is also a way of getting through.
Yeah, my experience in industry is very similar. That I've bumped into people who are 21 years old. They've got 3 years of experience. They're the ones hiring the graduates, but they didn't go to university. Um, Here's a good one. Is LinkedIn Premium useful, or is simply LinkedIn membership sufficient? That's from Amir.
It's a good question. It really, really depends on how strong your LinkedIn profile is. If you're still building, if you don't have a lot of connections, if you have less than 500 connections or less than 1,000, then you're like a really, it's your profile is not very mature. So I would say you really want to have 500 plus connections minimum. So again, it really, really depends. Um, just one other thing, I wanted to show everyone something else. Let me just give me 2 seconds. Um, what they can do on LinkedIn itself.
Got lots of questions still, Rehan. We've only got a few minutes left.
Okay, give me a sec.
We will be distributing this session. I'm not sure if you've distributed the past few on YouTube, but inshallah, I think that's the plan.
So give me just 2 seconds.
Uh, okay, I'm going to give you cognitive overload.
Go on.
Is there any detriment to making too many applications directly on LinkedIn? As I thought, it might have a negative effect? Or is that a myth?
Not on LinkedIn. You can make applications. You can make targeted applications. But the thing is, if it's to the same company, it's almost gonna be like you're spamming that company to try and get in. So, for example, I would really, if it's for one company, I would look at just applying 3 times, and then like stopping there. But you can make multiple applications on LinkedIn. It's not a problem at all to do that.
Amatul Nasir is asking, would I be able to get some personal interview advice from you? I've got an interview this week.
You can. I've got 500 connection requests in my LinkedIn, but yeah, look, what you can do is send a message to Sanato Tijarat. They will raise a ticket and they need to put urgent, and then I will inshallah try and help you with that. Okay.
Jazakallah. Muhammad's asked, whilst
So,
you're doing that,
sorry, one
oh,
other thing is please don't just apply for a job and then not try and find someone inside the company to, boost your application to. What I mean by that is you've sent an application, either you've got a referral, or if you don't have a referral, you just sent your application. What you want to do is then try and find at least the recruiter, the hiring manager, and a peer within the organization. Okay, must do that, and then send them messages, um, connecting with them, and ask them for referral. Okay, because when you do that, you're going to boost your chances. I've discussed that before, but again, it's
so let me get this right. So
underrated.
you apply for a job, you haven't got an interview, but you ping them all directly and say, "Hello world, I'm here. Give me a referral."
Yeah. Say, I've applied
Okay.
for your role. For recruiters, you can send them a different type of message. Say, I've applied for this
Okay.
job. This is the ID. These are the reasons why I'm really good. And I'd love for you to prioritize my application. For your peers and hiring managers, you would DM in a different way. Maybe I need to create a whole training around just how to DM.
And talking of which, Emma Dadnan is saying, can we have another session on LinkedIn? Because it's clear that people are like me waking up to the fact that actually LinkedIn is pretty useful. And more than that, it might be worth 50, 100, 200 grand a year. Right. I think, Rehan, unless have you got your screen ready? You've got like a minute, I'd say.
Give me a second because I just need to find something.
That's some long second, sir.
Yeah. No,
Under
I'd like
pressure.
people to hang on if you can, because I want to show you something,
Okay, fine.
please.
And if anybody's got any I mean, you can all see the chat, and it's meant to be interactive. We're all brothers and sisters here. We're all trying to be. We have the right intention to help each other. So if you see a question in the chat and you think, you know what, I know the answer to this, or I have a view on it, or an opinion on it, then just put it in. That it's not just about you asking a question for Rehan to answer, because I'm sure there's lots of people with a lot of experience here who may, who can contribute. Um,
Okay, I'm
Abdul
just going to share my screen. I don't even know
Yeah.
if this is going to work. Hang on a sec. I'm getting quite a few connections. Okay, so this isn't a job I'm interested in, but anyway, I'm just showing you for the sake of realizing what you can do. Okay, can you see my screen?
Yes.
Okay, has anyone, most of the time you apply for a job and you realize that 100 people have already applied, like here, over 100 people, over 100 people clicked apply on this job, okay? So what you should do, so I've done a search up here for recruiter, okay? I could have done sales manager, I could have done recruitment manager, whatever, just to give you an example. And then what I've done, I've said search the past 24 hours by clicking here specifically. Okay. Now this is only going to show me jobs with the name with a keyword recruiter that have been launched in the past 24 hours. Okay. Now this number here
In the URL bar.
in the URL bar where it's showing TPR, okay? This is actually showing, this number here actually shows the number of minutes, sorry, the number of seconds in a day, in 24 hours. So if you were to change this, just delete the number so that R equals 3,600. I hope this is going to work. Okay, so look, 3,600 is how many seconds there are in an hour. Okay, so now what we've done, we've literally we've filtered for jobs that have just been posted less than an hour ago. So here, this one you can see 16 minutes ago. This one's showing 35 minutes ago, and this is 34 minutes ago. So again, you could be one of the first people to apply for the role, and that could potentially increase your chances. If you're applying to a big tech company, it may not make a difference because we're hiring a lot of people, lots of different roles. We may not just be looking at the inbox, trying to look for the next person to come in, but if it's a really urgent role or a small organization, or even a bigger company, a big technology company, and it's an urgent position, and you apply, then yeah, you might come up quickly. Okay, so this is just a little tweak of how you can very quickly come up in search results. And
Jazakumullah, Jazakumullah Rehan Sahab. Thank you very much for that. I'm sorry to cut you short. We've still got about half a dozen questions we've not managed to get to. Shows how much interest there is. Um, so Jazakumullah for that. Next week, uh, we have how to sell on eBay, Amazon, and online platforms. So tune in next week, 7 o'clock, inshallah, again. Thanks for tuning in today. Thanks for listening in. There, yeah,
I
Jazakumullah.
think before you go, can you
Oh,
just finish the? I think there was a poll, a survey shared. I don't
mhm.
know whether you can see it on your screens, but if you can just fill in the survey response so that we can get an idea whether we did something wrong or you liked something, and we can just um, give
Yeah,
an
thank you for that
idea.
reminder. Appreciate that. Chilling. Jazakallah, everybody. See you next week. Allah Hafiz. Assalamu alaikum.
Assalamu alaikum warahmatullah.